Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekend Sports. It's our weekly Red Wings breakdown, and a fantastic week for the Red Wings. Out of 8 possible points, they got 8 points. 3 games won in overtime, 2 of them by Patrick Kane. And it's been a good week.
Oh man, you can't ask for anything better. This game really wasn't a good game in my estimate. I mean, I was watching it. I thought we were Chicago basically bottled us up for the whole game. After basically manhandling St. Louis yesterday, and Reimer kept us in it long enough, and the Brinket got that lucky goal at the end to tie it. It's just been puck luck. Chicago has had none this year. They probably deserve to win that game, but we got the tying goal, and then we get to overtime, and they can't bottle us up in overtime. It's 3-on-3, wide open ice,
Yeah.
and our guys, our playmakers did it.
So,
Patrick Kane, storybook, and that's just in the Chicago crowd. You got to give them
yes.
a lot of credit.
Even on Chelios' night in Chicago, it was more of
uh,
Kane's night than Chelios'
it
night.
was, but and I just feel like that's a class act. I mean, to give him a huge ovation. Well, he's won them 3 Stanley Cups. I mean,
Yeah.
Kane's got and they've seen Kane do that so many times in their uniform. At the end, I mean, the guy just has phenomenal hands.
But summing up the week just real quick, right? The first one in Seattle, Sherratt with the OT winner there between Larkin and Raymond getting the assist on that goal.
Yep.
That was just a good game to start out the week. You got your point, right? Like we said, if you're going to lose, just lose in overtime. Get the points as we go.
Right, especially against the West. I mean, you get overtime win in the West, that doesn't matter. I mean, you're not, you don't care if they get a point. It doesn't matter to us.
So,
Um,
but you get that first game, even though that was a pretty even game with Seattle, you pulled out on top, and then you went against the Avalanche at home, which was the first time people were saying it was like a playoff atmosphere
that was a
against
great game.
Colorado. And then guess who got that OT goal in that game?
Patrick Kane. Right.
10th goal of the season for that OT. That was a Ben Sherratt and Larkin. That was just a beautiful play that was set up with that, watching that.
Oh, that was great.
And that goal was fantastic. And that was also a really good game this week.
Right. Like I said, we played 3 really good games this week. Then we come into Chicago and don't play such a good game, but we still end up winning. And that's the sign of a team that has some destiny to them.
Yeah.
Some luck. I mean, they are just getting the breaks right now. And that carries you no matter what anyone says.
Yep. And Patrick Kane's averaging a point per game. He actually has 1 more point than per game right now because he had 2 points this game with his assist on DeBrincat's goal, which was weird. And then his unassisted goal, which I thought was an assist by Wallman, with how that ended up being in overtime in Chicago. And you couldn't really have planned that out better if you're the NHL.
I mean, in your opinion, though, even though, Kane stole the show, all the drama, all the things, I got to give that number 1 star to Reimer. He played amazing.
Reimer played good.
He kept him in the game. Good. They should have lost that game. I think without him, they do lose.
Chicago had 35 shots on net.
And they had a lot of great shots on net. It wasn't, they had a lot of scoring chances. And Bedard's breakaway at the end, or in the third period. I mean, that might have sealed the game.
Let me see if I can find out how Reimer full he did. I doubt. Team stat, play by play. No, I don't think I can get it exactly from Reimer from.
I'm sure he won't get the number 1 star, but he should.
No, he won't get the number 1 star. But you also swept Chicago this year. You won both your games against them. But there is no stats on Reimer on ESPN because, of course, there isn't because ESPN sucks. But it was just a good week. Reimer played well. Leinen played well. Your defense, you let up less than 3 goals in 3 of the games, for the past 5 games almost. You have not let up more than 3 goals since you faced the Oilers.
Right. Oh no. I mean, you got to say,
so your defense has gotten better
too. December, this defense, and like I said, as fans, we're impatient. I think that's the problem with, when all these pundits and all these things that we do, we don't give anyone time, and we were all ready to basically trash this whole system. Trash the defense and everything else. instead of just giving these guys time to gel, which is what they needed. I mean, Petrie first 3 months of the year sucked. I mean, I didn't think he was that good. He didn't look good, and then but him and Sherratt seemed to have regained that chemistry they had in
Yep.
Montreal. They've been playing really good hockey over the last 6 weeks.
Yes, they have.
Um,
It's
I mean, pretty much all our defensive pairings have. And it's helped because now our goaltending is
and that's still around with the rumors too for the trade deadline. We might be getting defensemen. We might be trading a couple of our ways to try and improve.
well, the only guy we really haven't seen much of over the last few weeks is Hall. So I mean, if we can
The only thing
replace
is
him,
he has a trade.
huh?
He has a trade clause,
Well, yeah, it might be
so
hard to get rid of him.
you can't
Uh,
just trade him. Sadly,
but I they certainly do need some. So maybe a defenseman, another solid defenseman. But uh, I mean, I tell you, because Petrie isn't in their plans for the future. And they're going to be bringing up Edvinson and this Palika eventually. I'll just let Eisen right now. I'm worried about touching that chemistry. We are playing really really well as a team, as a
yes, we are.
unit.
We are
Everybody
currently
is.
on a 5-game winning streak. 5-game winning streak at the moment. Coming home, we have a few home games. I think we're at home. Are we at home this whole time this week? Because we have 3 games this week, all at home. So you're gonna play a whole week at home.
All against teams you're at least as good as, if not a lot better than.
So
Probably.
first game this week, Tuesday, is against the Capitals. I'll be at that game. Right now the Capitals are also fighting for the wild card spot that you are currently sitting in. They're at 61 points right now. You're at 70. And then you play the Islanders on Thursday. Again, fighting for the wild card spot. They're not as good. They're 23, 20, and 14. They're almost as even with their wins as they are their overtime losses.
Right.
So the Islanders have lost 34 games this year. Just 14 of them have been OT. That's 14 extra points that they typically wouldn't have.
Ovechkin has regained his touch, and I think Washington's been playing a little better lately. But we should beat. I mean, I'm not gonna say, like I said, hockey's so unpredictable.
You are a better team than both the Capitals and
Yes,
Islanders.
we are better than both of them.
So you could win the next 2 games easily, but anything can happen. And then you're going to end the week on Saturday, 3:00 game against the Panthers.
Tough game, and then we play the Avs. I think after that, right?
You go to Colorado.
Right. So
Next week,
these wins here, what we're doing here in Chicago, and if we can pick up a couple more wins this week out of the next 3, get a couple more wins, it'll absorb if we can't beat the Panthers and the Avs.
You did what I
Give
wanted
us a
you.
little cushion.
You did what you wanted me to do this week, this month, and that was go 500 at
Right.
least. And you won 5 games in a row. You're above 500 for the month because you started the month beating the Canucks, had a bad loss against the Oilers, lost the Canucks, and then won 5 straight. So you're 6-2 right now in the month of February, with 2 more games left, and you could be 8-2
We could be 8-2
for the month
We
of
should
February.
at least be 7-3.
So when
Should
you
at least be.
and going into the month of March, where you're going to have a smaller amount of games left, we should be fine going through March because it's technically an easier schedule than you previously have. I'll kind of go over that more once we get into next week and talk about those games. But it should be easier going into next month because you're not facing good team after good team after good team. There is some mixtures of the bad teams in the league next month. Standing wise, to finish out the video though, right now you're sitting 4th in the division, which is good. You're 4 points behind Toronto for that 3rd place spot. 10 points behind Florida. If you really
Wouldn't
are
it
aiming,
be crazy if we got that 4th spot? We had a home ice advantage for the first series. That'd be crazy.
if you got to the 2nd spot,
We got we were like the 3rd or 4th seed.
no, you want to be the 2nd team.
Oh, we want to be the 2nd team. Well,
Yeah, get 10 points. You got to win 5.
I don't think that's going to happen. No. All right. Well, I'm just happy for the playoffs. I'm like I said, tonight was just I didn't think we were going to win. So I mean, when he had that lucky goal, and then I thought about it. I said, we get to overtime. They can't crowd the ice like they have been. We'll have a lot more room to
But
operate.
you're a point up on Tampa right now. They're at 69 points. While you're 2 games back of Tampa, you have 2 games on hand. So you have the advantage over Tampa with more points than them. You have a game over Toronto, so Toronto has a game up on you. And currently, if we were going to the playoffs today, I believe you would end up playing the Rangers.
Dun, 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 dun. I did run into playing the Rangers or
You
Boston. Anyway.
you're likely going to have an original six matchup the first round if Detroit is in the playoffs between either Boston or New York, depending on how well they can hold on to the lead. Florida is kind of catching up to Boston. If you're realistically being like, oh, can the Wings win the Atlantic? You're only 11 points back. So it's not improbable, but not likely.
No, I mean they'd have to go on insane there.
And hope that Boston and Florida fall apart. But
we're
we
not
are
getting
just
that-
happy for the playoffs.
Right, we are not getting ahead of ourselves here.
We are just happy for the play. If you want to think about that, go ahead. But that is not where we're thinking. Yes, we just beat a Chicago team that's sitting in the bottom of the West. They were the worst team. They took you to overtime, but there was a lot of momentum on Chicago's side. They didn't want Kane to beat them. And then Kane came in
and beat them
and beat them in overtime. So, but it was a good week. Happy. Hopefully next week's the same thing. Let's just keep on winning. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Until next time, hope to see everybody soon.